What if the reason your miracle hasn't arrived has nothing to do with bad luck, bad timing, or fate? What if the invisible force keeping you stuck has been living inside your own mind this entire time, and every day you unknowingly feed it? Today you'll uncover the hidden psychological barrier that silently delays life's greatest breakthroughs. By the end of this journey, you'll see why some people experience extraordinary transformation while others remain trapped in endless waiting, despite doing everything they believe is right. If this message is helping you uncover hidden truths about yourself, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Every week we explore the deeper psychological forces that shape destiny, relationships, purpose, and personal transformation. Your support allows this journey to continue, and you never know which insight could become the turning point you've been waiting for. Most people spend years believing their greatest obstacle exists somewhere outside themselves. They blame circumstances, timing, other people, or even fate for the life they haven't yet received. They convince themselves that one more opportunity, one more relationship, or one more lucky break will finally unlock the miracle they've been waiting for. Yet beneath these visible explanations lies an invisible reality that few ever dare to explore. The mind can quietly build walls that the eyes cannot see. While your conscious self moves forward with hope, another part of you may still be gripping fear, doubt, or old emotional wounds. The tragedy is that you can spend your entire life trying to open doors that were never locked from the outside. The unconscious mind does not respond to your words nearly as much as it responds to your deepest emotional patterns. You may repeat positive affirmations every morning, speak confidently about your future, and tell everyone that success is on its way. But if an unseen part of your inner world still expects rejection, disappointment, or failure, your behavior will quietly reflect those expectations. Without realizing it, you hesitate when decisive action is required. You avoid opportunities that demand courage. You second-guess moments that could change everything. These actions often feel logical in the moment, yet they are guided by invisible beliefs formed long before you were aware of them. Think about how often people sabotage the very future they say they want. Someone longs for a loving relationship, but pushes others away the moment genuine closeness appears. Another dreams of financial freedom, but fears responsibility, causing them to reject opportunities that could transform their lives. Others pray endlessly for purpose, while secretly believing they are not worthy of meaningful success. These contradictions are rarely intentional. They emerge from hidden emotional programs that continue operating beneath conscious awareness. Until those programs are recognized, life can begin to feel like an endless cycle of hope followed by disappointment. This hidden inner block is not proof that you are weak or destined to fail. In many cases, it was created as a form of protection. Past experiences taught your mind that pain follows vulnerability, that failure follows ambition, or that rejection follows authenticity. Your inner world learned to avoid future suffering by keeping you safely inside familiar limits. The problem is that the same protective mechanism that once kept you safe can eventually become the prison that prevents growth. What once served survival may now prevent transformation. The miracle you are waiting for may not be delayed because life has forgotten you. It may be waiting for the moment when your inner world no longer resists what your conscious heart desires. Every breakthrough begins by bringing hidden fears into the light, questioning the beliefs that quietly control your choices, and replacing unconscious limitation with genuine inner alignment. When the invisible barrier begins to dissolve, the path ahead often changes in ways that once seemed impossible. Not because the world suddenly became different, but because you finally stopped standing in the way of your own transformation. There is a part of your mind that quietly shapes your life without ever asking for your permission. It is the collection of emotions, memories, fears, desires, and traits you have pushed away because they felt uncomfortable or unacceptable. Most people spend years pretending this hidden side does not exist, believing that ignoring it will somehow make it disappear. But what is buried does not remain powerless. It continues working beneath the surface, influencing your choices, reactions, and relationships in ways that are almost impossible to recognize. The greatest mystery is that the miracle you seek may be standing just beyond the very parts of yourself you refuse to face. Every time you reject an uncomfortable emotion, instead of understanding it, you hand it greater control over your life. Anger that is never acknowledged may become quiet resentment. Fear that is never examined may disguise itself as caution. Deep feelings of unworthiness may appear as perfectionism or endless procrastination. On the outside, these behaviors seem reasonable. Inside, however, they are signals that something unseen is directing your decisions. The unconscious does not vanish simply because you refuse to look at it. It waits patiently, expressing itself through patterns that repeat until they are finally understood. This explains why so many people find themselves living the same painful experiences over and over again. Different faces appear, different places come and go, yet the emotional story never changes. One relationship ends, only for another to recreate the same disappointment. One opportunity disappears, and the next somehow slips away in an almost identical manner. It begins to feel as though life is cursed or unfair. Yet the deeper truth is often far more personal. Life repeatedly presents what remains unresolved, inviting you to recognize the hidden lesson that has been quietly shaping your destiny all along. The hidden side of your personality is not your enemy. It is a messenger carrying pieces of yourself that were abandoned long ago. Perhaps you learned as a child that expressing emotion was dangerous, so you buried your vulnerability. Perhaps you were taught that making mistakes meant losing love, so you hid your authentic self behind impossible standards. Over time, these rejected parts became strangers within your own mind. But transformation begins the moment you stop fighting them and start listening to what they have been trying to reveal. What once looked like weakness often becomes the doorway to your greatest strength. Your miracle may not be delayed because the world is against you. It may be waiting for the moment you become whole enough to receive it. Every hidden fear that is understood loses its power. Every rejected path that is accepted restores a piece of your inner strength. As your inner world becomes more honest and complete, your outer life begins to reflect that change. The miracle does not arrive because you become perfect. It arrives because you finally stop hiding from the parts of yourself that were quietly asking to be seen, understood, and transformed. Almost everyone says they want a miracle, but very few ask themselves a far more important question. Am I truly ready for the life I keep asking for? There is a profound difference between longing for change and being inwardly prepared to sustain it. The conscious mind dreams of abundance, love, purpose, or success, while the deeper mind quietly clings to familiar patterns because they feel safe. This invisible conflict creates a painful contradiction. You move forward with hope, yet something unseen keeps pulling you back. It is not that your dream is impossible. It is that your inner world may still be preparing for a reality it has never learned to trust. Readiness is not measured by how passionately you pray, how often you visualize, or how badly you want something. It is measured by your ability to carry the responsibility that comes with the blessing. Many people ask for a deeper relationship while still fearing true intimacy. They pray for influence while avoiding accountability. They seek financial freedom while remaining trapped in habits of fear and self-doubt. They ask for a new beginning while secretly refusing to let go of the identity built around past pain. Until these inner contradictions are recognized, the future remains just beyond reach, not because it is being withheld, but because it cannot yet take root in unstable ground. Imagine giving a rare and delicate seed to soil that has never been prepared. No matter how extraordinary the seed may be, it cannot flourish if the ground is filled with stones, weeds, and hardened earth. The same principle applies to the human mind. A miracle is not only an event that changes your circumstances, it is also an experience that demands a new version of you. If your inner foundation has not been strengthened, the very blessing you desire could become a burden you are unable to carry. Sometimes life delays the gift because it is first cultivating the person who will receive it wisely. This period of preparation often feels frustrating because it rarely looks like progress. Instead of immediate answers, you encounter challenges that test your patience. Instead of constant victories, you face moments that expose your fears, your insecurities, and your old emotional habits. It is tempting to believe that these difficulties are signs of failure, but they may actually be evidence that a deeper transformation is taking place. Every obstacle becomes an invitation to release an outdated belief, strengthen your character, and develop the resilience required for the next chapter of your life. What appears to be delay may actually be careful preparation. Perhaps your miracle has not arrived because it is waiting for the moment when your desire and your readiness finally become one. When your thoughts, emotions, actions, and deepest beliefs begin moving in the same direction, something remarkable happens. Resistance gradually dissolves, fear loses its grip, and opportunities that once seemed distant begin to appear with surprising clarity. The greatest breakthroughs rarely belong to those who simply wish for a different life. They belong to those who have quietly transformed into the kind of person who can recognize, receive, and protect the miracle when it finally arrives. Many people believe that change begins the moment circumstances improve. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the right relationship, the financial breakthrough, or the unexpected miracle that will finally make life feel complete. Yet the deepest transformations rarely begin in the outer world. They begin in silence, where your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions slowly learn to move in the same direction. When these inner forces are divided, even the greatest opportunities can pass unnoticed. But when they become united, life often begins to respond in ways that seem almost impossible to explain. Inner alignment means that the person you are on the inside is no longer fighting against the future you hope to create. It is possible to speak confidently about success while secretly expecting failure. You may tell yourself that you deserve love while carrying an unconscious fear of abandonment. You may dream of freedom while remaining emotionally attached to the comfort of familiar limitations. These contradictions create constant inner tension. From the outside, it appears as though life is resisting you. In reality, your own inner world is sending conflicting messages that weaken your ability to move forward with clarity and conviction. This hidden conflict reveals itself through everyday decisions. You hesitate just before taking an important step. You delay opportunities that could transform your future. You overthink simple choices until the moment has passed. You seek reassurance from others because you no longer trust your own judgment. None of these behaviors happen by accident. They are signs that one part of your mind is reaching toward growth, while another part remains anchored in old fears. As long as these opposing forces continue pulling against each other, progress feels exhausting, and every victory seems harder than it should be. True transformation begins when you stop trying to force the outer world to change before changing the patterns within yourself. This requires deep honesty. It means asking difficult questions about the beliefs you have accepted without ever examining them. It means recognizing where fear has disguised itself as logic, where doubt has disguised itself as humility, and where comfort has quietly replaced courage. As these hidden conflicts are brought into awareness, something remarkable begins to happen. Your decisions become clearer, your actions become more consistent, and your energy is no longer scattered between hope and fear. Instead of fighting yourself, you begin working with yourself. Perhaps your miracle has been waiting for this very moment. Not the moment when everything around you becomes perfect, but the moment when everything within you begins to move as one. When your conscious intentions, unconscious beliefs, emotions, and daily actions finally become aligned, life no longer feels like an endless struggle against invisible resistance. Doors that once seemed permanently closed begin to open, not because fate suddenly changed its mind, but because you have become fully present to receive what was always trying to find you. The greatest miracles often appear ordinary from the outside, yet they are born from the extraordinary moment when the divided self becomes whole. Waiting is one of the most misunderstood experiences in human life. When days turn into months and months into years, it becomes easy to believe that nothing is happening. The silence feels like rejection. The unanswered prayers feel like abandonment. Every closed door appears to confirm the fear that your miracle was meant for someone else. But beneath the surface, there is often a process unfolding that cannot be seen with ordinary eyes. What appears to be a delay may actually be the quiet construction of a foundation strong enough to support the life you have been asking for. Some transformations happen in public, but the most important ones are always born in private. Nature offers a powerful reminder of this truth. A tree does not reveal its strength the day its seed is planted. For a long time, most of its growth takes place beneath the ground, where invisible roots spread through the darkness. To someone watching from above, it may seem as though nothing is changing, yet below the surface, the roots are becoming deep enough to withstand future storms. The human spirit develops in much the same way. During seasons of waiting, your patience, wisdom, resilience, and emotional strength are quietly expanding, even when no visible progress seems to exist. What feels like stillness is often silent preparation. Many people abandon their journey because they mistake preparation for failure. They assume that if the miracle has not appeared by now, it never will. They compare their lives with others who seem to be moving ahead more quickly and conclude that they have somehow been forgotten. Yet every life follows a different rhythm. Some lessons cannot be rushed because they shape the very character required to protect the blessing that follows. A person who receives success without maturity may lose it just as quickly. A person who finds love without emotional healing may unknowingly destroy the relationship they prayed for. Sometimes the delay is not denying the gift, it is ensuring that the gift will last. The most difficult part of this waiting is that it forces you to confront yourself. Without constant distractions or immediate rewards, hidden fears begin to rise to the surface. You discover how much of your identity depended on external validation, quick results, or the approval of others. At first, this realization feels uncomfortable. Yet it is precisely this discomfort that begins to reshape you. As old expectations fall away, a quieter confidence starts to emerge, one that no longer depends on perfect circumstances. You begin to trust the process instead of demanding immediate answers, and that inner shift changes the way you meet every challenge. Perhaps your miracle has not been delayed because life is withholding it from you. Perhaps it has been delayed because life is preparing both the path and the person who will walk it. Every unanswered question, every unexpected setback, and every season of uncertainty may be shaping qualities that cannot be developed any other way. When the moment finally arrives, you may look back and realize that the waiting itself was part of the miracle. It transformed you into someone wiser, stronger, more compassionate, and more capable of embracing the future with gratitude rather than fear. Only then does it become clear that the invisible delay was never punishment, it was preparation. Most people spend their lives searching for the key that will unlock their future. They look for it in opportunities, relationships, careers, possessions, and recognition. They believe that if only the outside world would change, peace, happiness, and fulfillment would naturally follow. Yet the deepest truth is often the opposite. The greatest doors in life rarely open because the world changes first. They open because something within you has quietly transformed. The miracle you are waiting for may not begin with a new circumstance. It may begin with a new consciousness that allows you to see and receive what has always been possible. The mind has an extraordinary ability to shape perception. Two people can experience the same situation and walk away with completely different realities. One sees only obstacles, while the other recognizes hidden opportunities. One feels trapped by every setback, while the other treats each challenge as preparation for something greater. The difference is not always intelligence, talent, or luck. It is the inner lens through which life is interpreted. Until that lens changes, even the greatest blessing can go unnoticed. You cannot consistently experience a new reality while clinging to an old way of seeing yourself and the world. This is why personal transformation always begins with awareness. Before your circumstances can reflect lasting change, your beliefs must be examined with complete honesty. Are you still carrying an identity built around past failures? Do you secretly define yourself by old disappointments, betrayals, or fears? Every time you repeat the story that you are unlucky, unworthy, or powerless, you strengthen invisible chains that limit your future. The unconscious mind accepts these stories as instructions, shaping your choices to match the identity you continue to believe. The outer world often becomes a mirror reflecting the deepest assumptions hidden within. When you begin changing from the inside, something remarkable happens. You stop seeking constant approval because your sense of worth no longer depends on the opinions of others. You make decisions with greater confidence because fear no longer controls every step. You become more patient because you understand that meaningful transformation cannot be forced. Gradually, your actions begin reflecting your new inner state. You speak differently, respond differently, and approach opportunities with greater courage. To those around you, it may appear that your life suddenly became fortunate, but the real change happened long before anyone could see it. It began in the quiet moments when your inner world chose growth instead of fear. Perhaps the miracle you have been waiting for has been standing outside your door all along. The reason it has not entered is not because it could not find you, but because the door it seeks does not exist in the external world. It exists within your own mind and heart. The moment you release limiting beliefs, embrace the hidden parts of yourself, and align your actions with your deepest values, that inner door begins to open. And when it does, the world itself seems to respond in unexpected ways. Opportunities appear with greater clarity, relationships deepen with greater honesty, and purpose reveals itself with greater certainty. You realize that the greatest miracle was never simply what entered your life. It was the person you became before it arrived.